Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead and East Fork Christmas Tree Farms. Today I have a thought, an idea. I just started doing this the other day, and maybe it's a crazy idea, maybe it's a bad idea, maybe it's a good idea. Let me know. But anyway, I am standing in front of a small stand of bamboo that I planted on my property years ago. I planted the bamboo because, you know, my boys were young and they wanted light sticks to play with, have fun, maybe make some bows because they're flexible and strong, and just playing around and whatnot. But anyway, I planted this years ago. I know that they're a very invasive species and like to spread out and take over yards, and a lot of people are frustrated with that. So I planted this. I'm way down by the creek, way away from my property, my pasture, not my property, I'm on my property, but my pasture, my lawn, my garden, all that other stuff. And I just stuck this bamboo in here and left it. I have not cared for it, I have not fertilized it, I have not watered it, but it's just kind of grown. I'll show you how it looks here in just a bit. But anyway, Barry and I are in the last couple days of tying tops for our Christmas trees, and normally we tie, I just have sticks that I take a piece of 2x4, a waste piece of 2x4, and cut it up in the table saw about 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch thick, 16 inches long or so, and then we tie the trees with that. I know a lot of people buy bamboo to do it. It's not too expensive, but it, you know, buying in bulk, it can get expensive. But so the other day I came down here, I was feeding the fish in the pond, and I was like, I should just grab some of the bamboo myself. And so I started cutting this, and it is, you know, some of the qualities of bamboo, for pound, it is really strong. I mean, it is lighter than a stick and very strong, flexible. It's fairly rot resistant. I know they sell these in bulk for Christmas tree farmers to get and to tie tops and other gardening supplies, and they sell all different sizes. And in my garden at the school, I needed some more stakes to tie up some tomatoes, and I was running out of other stakes, so I just cut some of these and turned them into stakes for the tomatoes. So there's a number of different uses that you could have for it. So anyway, at the moment, I am really happy that I planted some bamboo here, and some of this is, goodness, about 15 feet tall, I would say. It's not a super tall one, but it's not small. And so what I'm going to be doing today is taking some loppers, cutting off the bottom, and saving the thicker pieces for stakes to tie up stuff in the garden. And then I'll be using some thinner ones to take to the Christmas tree farm and finish tying tops today. Here's a closer look at this stand of bamboo. Getting up there pretty tall. So that's where the original was planted. You can see that we're talking about being invasive. It ran across the forest floor. And then there's some more coming up here. Another interesting note, some of these branches are bent over, coming over this way, and I was going to cut these off, but I noticed there's a nest right in here. So I'm going to leave these and not mess with that. There's a couple robins making a fuss out in the woods nearby, like they think something's being messed with, so it might be their nest. All right, let's get in there and get a couple larger pieces of what I have and see how this turns out. I think the larger piece is going to be a little bit too strong for my hand pruners, but we're going to grab the loppers, cut them off at the bottom, and then work our way up from there. All right, the loppers got them out pretty easy. You can see this is a nice long piece. Let's lay that down there. Here, grab the other one that I cut. So look at the length of this. Nice and firm, hard to break. Because I know I want to use the skinnier parts to tie tops, I'm going to cut those up, but then the longer pieces, I may use them for a couple different uses. So from where my hand is right here, well, right about here is the thickness that I'll start using to tie tops. I'm going to cut tops off here, and going off this way, there's approximately 10 feet there. I'm just going to leave the full 10 feet together for now. I could cut them apart later into 2 5s, or if I want a 10-foot long one, I have it, but you know, you can't put them back together once you cut them, but you can always cut them later. So I'm going to leave that 10 feet there, and I'm going to take the tops of these right here and start cutting approximately 16-inch sticks to tie the tops of my Christmas trees on. And these are light and definitely stiff enough to hold the tops of the Christmas trees. That's probably as thin as I'll go. So I'm going to get 3 out of the top of this one.
Looks like you haven't set up any home kit accessories.
Tear off the side branches here. So about 16 inches again. So at the size I was working with there, and this is not something I've worked through a lot before, I cut a couple yesterday, and that's the first time I've ever done it off my own bamboo. I'm getting about 3 sticks for the tops off of each one, and then I've got a strong 10-foot piece that could be used for something else. All right, I'm going to go in and cut a few more down. Okay, again, like I said, the first time I've ever done this on my own was yesterday, so I'm not an expert on this, but I'm going to try a little bit different technique. I'm going to start, I took a bigger cane down, and I'm going to start at the small end, and this is thick enough to tie the top to some trees, so I'll take that, and then I'll come up about 16 inches, cut that off. I'll do about 16 more inches or less, and then I'll keep going. There's 3, and then this was a little thicker than I used last time, but this is not too thick to use to tie the tops of trees. So I'll go ahead and go 1 more, and now I've got 4 sticks instead of 3 out of each stalk or cane that you take down. I don't even know if you call bamboo stalks or canes or what. I believe it's stalks. Let's try that again. Gotta hold this up for the camera. I don't know if I got this on camera. Tear the branches off. This goes really easy. I heard it said before, I think it's true, I'll have to look it up, that bamboo is actually a form of grass. And if you ever have any really tall grass that grows out in the field, it grows very similarly to this. It's just a stronger, thicker grass. There's 1, 2, 3, and we'll go to a little bit thicker one so we can get our 4th. Plus, that thicker one is good for Christmas trees, but this would be a little bit small for supporting other stuff in the garden. But now it's getting to where it's thicker, and so we have a good support post. While I was working on the bamboo down there, I remembered that years ago I also planted another patch over here way across the canyon on the other side. It's kind of out in the woods. I thought I'd come and see how this one's doing. This is not growing quite as strong and as thick or as tall as the other one. I don't know why it's thriving. Maybe it just doesn't get as much sunlight or doesn't have as much moisture as the bamboo down by the pond is picking up. But there's still definitely pieces in here. Oh, don't cut right on the node. There's definitely pieces in here that will be of value for canes on the Christmas tree farm. So there you have it, my little experiment with using the bamboo I planted several years ago now to get some cane sticks to tie the tops on my Christmas trees, and I've got support posts to use in the garden. Okay, so the longer posts are about 10 feet long. I cut these at about 16 inches. I'll take up the other supports to use in the garden. Or wherever else I need them. I might hide them because if Hot Mama, my wife, sees them, she might want me to do something cute and decorative with them. But anyway, it's worked out really well. In my situation, I think it's really beneficial because, you know, bamboo canes are not super expensive, but I ran out of the sticks that I was using yesterday. I only need a handful more to work on finish the last acre of Christmas trees we need to tie tops on. So I was able to, while doing chores, just run on down here, cut these real quick, and I can head down to the farm. I don't have to stop at a store. I don't have to, where I'm located, where my tree farm's located, there's not a good place in between to buy these, so I don't want to do extra driving around. I just have it available on my property at all times. Again, bamboo is really strong pound for pound. It's fairly rot resistant, but it is invasive, so you have to make a decision on whether it's worthwhile. But at least this morning, I'm happy I have it here. Another thought while I'm at this is, you know, if you don't want to plant your own, if there's someone, a friend of yours or someone in the area that has planted bamboo that's fairly invasive and growing really strong and fast. I know a lot of people that have yards that are like, please take this out of here, or take whatever you can out of here. And so you might be able to go up to someone and just say, hey, can I cut some of the canes or the stalks off your bamboo? And they might be happy to let you just come and take some. Thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching including horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects are my passion. Hope to see you again soon, everyone. Be blessed. And I'm going to go cut just a few more of these.